Another episode of Self-Love Sundays with Tina Ricks. Bear with me 1 second. Let me go ahead and get Instagram up. All right. Hello. How you doing? It's your sis Tina Ricks, and we are ready for another episode of Self-Love Sundays. How y'all doing today? I know it's a Grammys night, so we don't want to compete with them, but we're going to go ahead and record this. That way you have your episode for the week, all right? Hey, I'm going to allow time for you guys to go ahead and come on in if you're going to be watching. If not, I would love for you guys to watch later on in the week, all right? So we're talking about narcissistic abuse today, part 2. Narcissistic abuse, part 2, all right? So let's give everyone a few minutes to come on in, and then we'll get started. I'll be right back. Well, I'll stay. I'll have somebody else do it for me. How are y'all doing? Let's get our comments up. And guys, if you are watching on the Tina Ricks page and not on Thought Positive Media's page on Facebook, I won't see any comments if you leave them while we're live. So go to the Thought Positive Media page, and then I'll be able to see your comments. YouTube, I'll be able to see your comments. IG, I'll be able to see your comments. All right, we're going to get started soon. So we're going to kind of delve deep into this thing, guys. So I would recommend that you get like a pencil, paper, or, take some notes on a phone. But if you're watching on your phone, I don't know how you're going to do that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're talking about narcissistic abuse. So we talked about it last Sunday, kind of like how they traumatize their victims and things like that. And I kind of bounced around different topics of kind of things that narcissists do in general and share some of my experience of being in a narcissistic relationship. Now we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper so you really understand what this disorder is, because this is one of those diagnoses and just terms that is kind of getting thrown out there. It's kind of become very popular lately. So we want to make sure that we actually know what it means and what true narcissistic diagnosis is. So narcissistic personality disorder is a cluster B personality disorder. So I'm a licensed psychotherapist, so I'm telling you things from the DSM-5. That's like the Bible for us clinicians, okay? So it's a cluster B personality disorder, and there are 4 different types of personalities that fall under the cluster B personality disorder, okay? So the first one's antisocial personality disorder, and that one is, it has to do with the failure to conform to social norms and not respecting like lawful behaviors, unlawful behaviors, repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. So it's kind of like more of a criminal, it's kind of on the path to being a criminal, okay? So that's antisocial personality disorder. And then borderline personality disorder is a pervasive pattern of instability, interpersonal relationships, self-image, affects marked impulsivity. So they're like very impulsive. They're kind of like, they like to be a victim. They really kind of don't like themselves, and they tend to have suicidal ideation and suicide attempts. And sometimes it's a means for attention. Histrionic personality disorder, that one is kind of like got rapidly shifting, shallow expressions of emotion. So they don't really go deep with histrionic. And there's also like some inappropriate sexual advances and things that they'll do in public that's like not appropriate. And then narcissistic personality disorder is the one that we're going to focus on, okay? So that's cluster B personality disorders. And also, if you have narcissistic personality disorder, you could have some of these other features going on as well in that cluster B personality disorder. Okay, so you could be narcissistic and have antisocial. Some of the features of antisocial personality disorder. You could have some of the features of borderline personality disorder. You could have some of the features of histrionic personality disorder, okay? All mixed in there with NPD. NPD is narcissistic personality disorder, okay? So let's go ahead and move on. So we're going to talk about the 8 types of narcissists and how to distinguish them, all right? Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you're with us. All right. So the 8 different types of narcissists and how to distinguish them. All right. So there's not really a clinical diagnosis for the subtypes of narcissists, but there are different types of narcissists. There's only one, diagnosis in the DSM-5 for narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, so it's like clinicians have over the years broken down into these other subtypes that are pretty pervasive with people that have this disorder. So there is something called healthy narcissism. So you should, healthy narcissism isn't everybody, okay? It doesn't mean that you have narcissistic personality disorder. So if you take time out for yourself and, you promote yourself and you have a really good, healthy self-image and you don't allow people to like take advantage of you, if you're in a toxic relationship, somebody could call those things narcissistic traits, but everyone should have a healthy amount of narcissism in them, okay? Because that comes along with self-love and self-confidence, okay? So that's okay. So grandiose narcissism is one that, it's one that most people think of whenever they think of a narcissist. When they think of a narcissist, they think of the grandiose narcissism, and that one kind of resembles, unrealistic sense of superiority. So an unrealistic sense of superiority and overestimates one's abilities, asserts one's dominance over others, and having generally inflated sense of self-esteem. So we would probably think, I think that we can think of somebody, that has those things that we've seen on like TV, or that are certain leaders that haven't been healthy, without naming names. So there's like a braggadocio, entitlement, self-obsession, and they openly display these things, okay? They have no empathy. They lack empathy completely, okay? Hey, hey, guys, I'm like, I have one camera here, one camera here. So my eyes like, just bear with me, all right? So then there's the vulnerable narcissism, which is also known as covert narcissism. This one is hard. This is hard, okay? Because it's hard to sniff out because they don't have those traits. They don't do any of that stuff. So then what do? They're kind of shy and self-effacing. So they're kind of like, kind of self-loathing almost. And they kind of appear to be like distressed a lot of times. They're kind of hypersensitive if you say anything about them, and they are chronically envious, but they're very passive aggressive. Most of them are passive aggressive, so they're not even going to confront you with any of this stuff. So you're not really going to know what all is brewing and stewing inside of them. You're really not going to know because they'll smile in your face. They'll act like everything's okay, but then, behind your back, they'll set you up and do something, and you would never suspect them of doing it because they're just kind of quiet, mousy, and you're always there to like support them. So why would they not like you? They don't like you because they don't like those traits in you that are the complete opposite of them. And they're envious of those traits where, you have the self-confidence and you are proud of yourself and you are able to care about others and love others. They kind of envy some of those things in you and they take it out on you because they know that they can. So it's really hard to really, pinpoint what's going on with that one. They are pretty miserable, the covert narcissists, and they believe their suffering is worse than anyone else's. So they should be allowed to hurt people, basically. That's how they feel. And they have a problem with boundaries, people's boundaries, once they are in a relationship with you. Okay. The malignant narcissist is manipulative and malicious. And there's a lot of sadism and aggression that's going on there. So they enjoy and feel good whenever someone is sad or they're inflicting pain on someone. It's the most severe subtype of narcissistic personality disorder, malignant narcissism. Okay. They get great pleasure from seeing people, just in pain and discomfort, okay? And any attempts to outsmart them, don't try to tell them that that they're a narcissist or anything like that, because it's just going to make things worse. And they're going to really try to take you out, and ruin your reputation and drag your name. And they've practiced this. So if you go try to the thing with narcissism is if you try to go tell on them or be hey, this is what's going on, it's going to be very hard for anyone to believe you because their whole life they've been perfecting lying. And they also have been setting up the game the whole time while you're just kind of living your life. And then, you're why does no one get that I've done nothing? Because you've already been set up. It was all laid out already. So they have people working for them, and those people don't even know that they're working for them because they honestly believe that narcissist is a good person. because all that they've ever experienced with that person are positive things. So it's a very secretive type of abuse that's really hard to pinpoint, because the victim of it really doesn't have anyone to go tell, because everyone's going to think that they're crazy. It's really, really bad. Really, really bad. And that's why I'm taking time to really talk about it more. So then there's a sexual narcissism, and that person is overly positive, egotistical, and a type of admiration of their own sexual prowess. Okay. They can become consumed by their obsession with sexual performance and need for sexual admiration of others. Okay. Sexual narcissists are often serial cheaters, use sex to manipulate people, and may behave violently during sex. Okay. All right. So somatic narcissism. Somatic narcissists, they kind of like derive their self-worth from their bodies, from how their bodies look, what their physique is like, okay? It may manifest in some feeling more beautiful, stronger, or fitter, more in shape than others, okay? Somatic narcissists often obsess over their weight and physical appearance and criticize others based off of their appearance. They usually ignore the needs of others and prioritize their own needs ahead of everyone else, okay? And then there's the cerebral narcissist. What do you think that would be? A cerebral narcissist. Cerebral. So they're intelligent. They're really smart. Okay. So they use that intelligence that they have as a right to abuse people and be rude to people and condescend people and belittle people, because they feel as though they are more intelligent than everyone else, and they feel like everyone else is like dumb and they're super smart. So they're like elevated higher because they feel like they know everything. Okay. Then there's a spiritual narcissist. The spiritual narcissist will like cognitive dissonance. Okay. So they're doing bad things, but they keep on saying that, you know, they'll like quote every scripture from the Bible, but they're like doing things that are completely against the Bible at all times. Okay. But they know they're like scripture. They know their word, whatever religion they are, they really know it. Like they know it good. And they kind of like use that against their victims to seem like they're holier than thou. Okay, so moving on from that. So now we're going to talk about narcissistic terms. Here goes some narcissistic terms, all right? You guys are in like mental health school today. Okay, narcissistic terms. All right, so baiting. Baiting is something that narcissists love to do. They love to provoke a reaction from you, especially in public. So they'll bait you. They'll set up something and they'll do something, and then they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, look, she's crazy. Look how she's reacting to it." Or, "Oh my gosh, look, he's crazy. Look at what he's doing." You know, so they kind of bait you, okay, to get a rise of your emotions. Okay. Boundaries are a code of conduct or an unwritten set of rules in which we consider to be reasonable behavior from those around us, and our response when someone steps over the line. So boundaries are something that they have a problem with. Okay. And their goal is to like push through and penetrate through all of your boundaries with their drama. And they're going to be successful in doing that because you love them, and you want to figure out what's going on with them. So they kind of like force their drama into your life. Okay. Cognitive dissonance. We'll talk about that word later. Codependents are often perfectionists who tend to put the needs of others above their own. Okay, so the codependent person is somebody that they like to care for someone and they overdo it. So they it's like an empath and a narcissist. The narcissist tends to sniff out the empath. The empath is like big heart, super caring, wants everyone to be nurtured that's around them, and they kind of like put themselves last. I mean, that's something that's kind of known for people that work in the mental health field, social workers, mental health workers, and, so on and so forth. We're known to like put everyone else's needs before ours because we're taking care of people all day and sometimes neglect to take care of ourselves. So when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, they take advantage of that and they just tap into that thing inside of you, and they just keep taking from your well of love and care and nurturing and healing. They just keep taking it. And before you know, you are completely depleted of all of that. And you're tired and you're confused and everything, but we'll get to that part. Okay. So, so codependents, They're perfectionists who tend to put the needs of others before their own. Okay? Which is a very unhealthy thing to be, by the way. That's not good. You got to work on that because you got to love yourself. You got to care about yourself. And you got to put up boundaries and say, hey, this is my time, or this is the time that we can talk on the phone or whatever, or text, and I'm working during these times. If you don't put up any of those boundaries and you just like let people take, it's not their fault. It's yours because you're not putting up those boundaries. Okay. So cognitive dissonance, what is that? It occurs when one holds two or more contradictory beliefs or values at the same time. Okay. So what would that look like? So if someone believes that they are a good person and goes ahead and does something wrong or bad, the feeling of guilt and discomfort are known as cognitive dissonance because they proclaim to be a good person, but they're doing something bad. So cognitive dissonance is happening. And then also you think of your relationship as being healthy, right? And you see this person as loving you because they're telling you that they're loving you, the narcissist, right? But the things that they're doing are hurting you, right? So there's cognitive dissonance going on there because it's like they're saying that they love me, but they keep hurting me, right? So they keep doing things to hurt me. So there's something contradictory there, right? Okay. So flying monkeys. Flying monkeys are the people that have been convinced by the narcissist that he or she is the real victim. So, you know, narcissists do a lot of projection. They do a lot of projecting, okay? So if they are the one abusing you, they're going to say that they're the one that's abused. However, they are abusing you, they're going to say that you're the one that's doing it, and they're going to convince everyone else of that because it's not your MO to go around and try to convince everyone what's going on with somebody else. That's just not how you operate, right? But this person is literally setting you up behind your back for months. Could be for years. So whenever you finally had enough and you think you want to go SOS, everyone's like, oh no, we know about you. You know, you're crazy or whatever, you know. And literally the person's been setting you up for years, sometimes decades, okay? So flying monkeys it's sad because they help torment, they help threaten, and they help fuel the smear campaign against the actual victim because they have been deceived by the narcissist that the narcissist is the victim. So they are like protecting them. They're like, oh, no, you're not. No. You know, they're doing all of the work for the narc. The narc is sitting back laughing and having a good time eating the popcorn, enjoying the show. That's what they do. Okay, gaslighting. Gaslighting is it's like a mentally manipulative tactic where the mental health of the victim is like conditioned in a very horrible way because whenever something is the truth, they're told that it's a lie. Okay. Or if something happened, they're told that it didn't happen. Okay. All the time. So the narcissist will deny saying something that didn't happen when it did. Okay. And this happens all the time. So that can cause people to start doubting themselves, or just like feel like I don't understand why you don't understand me, or why you think that you didn't say that, like it doesn't make sense. And some people really start to believe that they made it up. Okay, so then we have gray rock. Gray rock is whenever you're trying to remove yourself from the relationship and you realize what's going on and you realize that you're in a narcissistic relationship, right? So a gray rock is like supposed to be like a pebble on the ground or a pebble amongst a bunch of other pebbles, right? It's just a gray rock, nothing special about it. It's not going to stand out. You're just going to walk right past it and keep going, right? So basically you're supposed to gray rock your personality. Okay. So you're supposed to like make your personality really flat, just really flat. You're supposed to make your personality really flat and just blah. So whenever they call you with stuff, you just like kind of like blah, or they text you and you just kind of like, you don't really have much to say. So that's going to cause them to find a new supply because you're not really giving them the attention that they are desiring. Okay. Hoovering. So hoovering derived from the Hoover vacuum, right? And it's whenever the narcissist attempts to suck you back in to the relationship and then start the abuse all over again. So they'll be nice. They'll be doing some of the things that, you know, you liked at the beginning of the relationship, and you'll be fooled to thinking that, hey, things are going to go good this time. I know it. I knew that time that I put in. I knew that time that I put in was worth it. I knew I wasn't wrong. I knew he was going to come around and realize that he was wrong and he loves me and we're going to have a wonderful relationship. All right, let's go. So you go back into that thing and it gets way worse than it even was the first time because they believe that you're stupid. Again, like if you go back to a narc, he doesn't feel sorry for you or anything. He feels like you deserve to be abused more because you were stupid enough to come back. I shouldn't have been that easy for me to get you back. This is pathetic. They literally are laughing on the inside at you. Okay, invalidation. So invalidation is they're never going to validate anything that you do, ever. ever. And they're going to train others to not validate anything that you do too, because guess what? Anything that they do, they're going to say that you're doing. So those people are going to start to feel like, this person is just drama. They're drama. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with this person is drama. So people, they don't do any kind of like research on their own. Most people are followers. So, they see other people not liking, so they don't like. So they cause a culture of invalidation around this individual. Can you see how this person, if they're not very strong spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, can go into a depression and become suicidal? Can you see that? A lot of victims of narcissism actually become suicidal. They become suicidal because they have no outlet. They have no outlet. Everyone thinks that they're a piece of shit, and they really are not. And everyone's convinced of that. And they also probably look like a piece of shit because guess what? Their life and soul has been sucked out of them by the narc. So they're like probably overweight from trying to comfort eat, not taking care of their hair. That just everything is just a mess. Okay. And they're out here trying to say he or she's the one that's, and people looking at the person like, girl, bye, or boy, bye. It's you. Just look at you. You look crazy. You look disheveled, So yeah. So that's kind of what they do. And if you're if you're not strong, this leads people into spiraling into a really bad depression. They become hopeless and they feel helpless. And what happens? What are the two questions that we ask whenever we're screening someone for suicidality? Hopelessness and helplessness. Okay. That's what the narc does to people. That's what they do to the person that they allegedly love, right? So that person becomes suicidal, super depressed, not taking care of himself at all. And some of them actually succeed in suicide. Yeah. So this is really bad. This is emotional abuse that it runs deep and it hurts to the core of the soul. Because when you give of yourself, and it's like, this isn't the way that things supposed to work. If I'm nice, I'm supposed to get nice back. If I'm caring, I'm supposed to get people that care back. But this person is over there just, setting you up, and like, there's like, bombs everywhere in the ground of people that are supposed to be your people. So everywhere you go, somebody blows up at you. And you're like trying to walk through this minefield, right? Okay. Trying to make sure that nothing blows, right? So you're not even being yourself. You're trying to walk on eggshells with everybody because you feel the energy is off, because that person already went to all your people. Because you've never said anything negative about the person. You said the person was wonderful. So whenever the person reached out to your people, they brainwashed your people or, lied to your people. Just easy to do, and said that you were doing things to them. So now your friends or possible your family think that something's wrong with you too. Especially if you go back. If you go back, it's pretty bad, because it's like, why did you go back? Because I thought the person was horrible. But you go back because you don't really feel, the person's been telling you anyway, like nobody's going to want you, right? And you don't feel confident enough to be out there by yourself. So you kind of go back to the monster, It's like you have Stockholm syndrome. They gaslight the hell out of you. No accountability. They project, insecure, devalue you. Absolutely. They belittle and undermine you. And it's very tiring. It's very emotionally taxing. It's very emotionally taxing. And you second guess the things that you want to say, or you just don't even say them. You become like timid to even speak up for yourself and all of those kind of things. You have to be strong. You have to heal deep. You got to do some deep healing after these relationships, and even while in them. So while you're still in it and you haven't got out, you have to start healing yourself on the inside. You got to start stitching things up and cleaning things up as you go. I know in my own experience, I was working on myself while I was pregnant. I was already preparing to, I knew that this wasn't right. So I was already pouring love into myself internally, taking care of my spirit, feeding positive things into my spirit, depositing good things in there to keep myself going. Because I knew this isn't right, So basically, after being in a relationship like that, you're going to have to heal. And we're going to talk about healing on another episode. So we're not going to go into that right now, okay? And the last thing that we're going to cover tonight is going to be dating red flags. We'll do dating red flags, and then we'll wrap. And I'll see if there's any questions that come in as well, okay? Right now, let's see if there's any questions. Hey, guys. Hey, how you doing? Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much. Hey, Facebook land, how y'all doing? All right. Anybody need a potty break? I'm just playing. All right, let's go. So dating red flags. Okay. So we're going to go over some terms, okay? And it's going to kind of go through the pretty much in order of how the relationship goes, pretty much. All right. So I'm just going to kind of read like the highlights. Okay. I have like, I'm taking you through Narcissistic 101 school. Okay. I have like a book here. Okay. So mirroring. So the narcissists position themselves as being your soulmate by mirroring. Okay. So they're like watching what you're doing and they're like, oh, I like that too. Oh my gosh, you like indie rock? I like that too. Now there's this band that plays like at one of these bars up here on 6th Street here in Austin, and they're really good. What's the name of them? Such and such. Oh my gosh, I like them too. No way, you like them too? Yes, I love them. I love them. Okay, the person's not going to ask them, do you know a song? They're not going to think that the person's lying, right? But the person's going to go do the research, learn about that music, and then act like they liked it too. Pretty crazy, right? Okay, that's what they do. So they're not really giving a lot of information, but they're there listening. They're listening as you are giving up all of this information about yourself and about your life. And you think that you found this perfect person that's so much like you. Wow, we're soulmates. Okay, all right. Yeah, good listener. There we go. That's what it says here. They're looking for opportunities to get their hooks into you. So seeking out your vulnerabilities and insecurities is a way to try to get you indoctrinated into their world. Okay, so the ideal soulmate. So the mirroring, if it's effective, then you begin to think, oh my gosh, this is the guy. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that we have in common. Oh my goodness, this is like my BFF and my lover for life. All right, intense contact. Okay, and what does that mean? What is intense contact? It's like just communicating all day. But that's okay to communicate with your new person all day, right? Because you're excited, right? No, but this person's like bombarding you and they know that you're at work, right? Or they know that you have a small child and you got to take care of your child, right? But they're sending stuff at all times of the day. So it's really a boundary issue. It's really a boundary issue because it's inappropriate. Okay. So a lot of emails, a lot of text or phone calls, just a lot. It's constant stream to make sure that you're thinking about them, because what is it again? They want attention. They're very attention seeking. Okay. Quick with intimacy. Basically they kind of rush to, act like they love you. They want to be in bed with you. They want to like right away. They're like, I know that you're for me, overly sexual. So it's kind of like the classic charmer or femme fatale style. Expect them to be sensuous, not just for show, but with intent, plenty of sexual overtones as they entice you further into their web. They may not be able to feel love. Sexual conquest represents validation. So the sexual conquest that they have make them feel like, okay, yeah, I'm somebody, basically. That's the validation, like I'm somebody. So expect them to be sexual before your level of intimacy has built to that level to feel comfortable being that way. Okay. Plenty of crazies. So narcs typically leave a trail of destruction whenever they leave the relationship. It's never really like an end to the relationship. It's just kind of like the person that no longer wants to be abused leaves, okay? But there's like so much that's unresolved because narcs don't resolve anything. They don't resolve anything because nothing's their fault, right? So it's all you. You can't get anywhere with trying to like get to the bottom of any kind of a situation because nothing is their fault. So you're going to be met in this new relationship. They're not telling you all this stuff yet till you kind of like are hooked in there. And then, all these crazies are going to start. You're probably never going to meet the ex because things are that bad that they left a trail of destruction. Can you call me? No, we're in the middle of an episode. Okay. Just tune into the episode. We're talking about narcissism. Okay. So they're going to leave this crazy trail, right? And you're going to be trying to like decipher what's going on. Why is this that way? Oh, okay. So you're going to be okay with not meeting the ex because you're going to have been told that the ex is crazy and has done this and has done that and has done that. And you're feeling sorry for them. Okay. Because you have empathy, which you should. If someone's coming to you with all that, you should probably feel sorry for them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that they're deceiving you. That's the problem. So just pay attention to someone that's got like this just world of just like blown up stuff behind them, and they take no responsibility for it, and it's the other person's fault. Whereas I can say in my relationship, I can say there was a time that I filed for divorce. It was like the end of 2017. the end of 2017. I filed for divorce, and I went back. I was like, well, God, it's my second marriage. I should really try. I know that this has been horrible. The treatment has been horrible. I've been triangulated and stuck in someone else's drama. Didn't wrap up things with his ex. Like, should I stay and let me just stay and let me try to set up all these couples retreats and trips and meditation seminars and everything. I pulled out all stops, traveled the world, put the money down, let's do it. I still to this day call it one of the worst mistakes in my life because the abuse got so much worse. So much worse. It was public humiliation time. So much worse. It's always punished for leaving in the first place, because that was embarrassing to them. So they got me good. They got me good. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. So don't go back. Leave. Okay. Don't second guess yourself. Okay. So there's usually overlap. So you're thinking that the person's broke up with this ex for a while, but they're probably still involved with him until they secure you. Okay. And then they are ready to leave and move on. They have to have their supply secure first before they break up. So it's not like a clear breakup. So imagine what that's going to look like. And then they're just going to call that person crazy, but they literally just left that person without a goodbye or any kind of resolve or any kind of clean cut breakup. And they moved on to you. Okay. Another sign is that your friends are cautious of the person because they're like, where did they come from? So it's like your close friends are less sure about, the person. Okay. And then the new, oh, there you go. You're back. Hey. So the new supply is going to be like the hero. Okay. The shero or the knight in shining armor that comes along because, they're going to make you feel that way. Like, oh my gosh, you're so awesome. You've come to care about me and all this kind of stuff. Right. So you're going to feel like, wow, I'm helping. Right. Boom. And then the wobbles start. They call it the wobbles. The wobbles are just when you thought things were going well. It's a little rush, but it's okay. You hit a rocky patch or two. You're not quite sure what the big deal is, but you sense something is a little off. It's a little off. It could be an argument that they have picked over a little issue that happened. Like they got really mad or they left the house because you tried to talk to them about something and you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's just a bad time to talk. Maybe they had a bad day at work or something like that. But the reaction to what you wanted to talk about or do was it was just kind of off. Like, why would you react this way from this? So you're really trying to figure out some kind of way to get things more normal or you just kind of blow it off and be like, okay, well, they're just not having a good day, right? That's early on. So they're basically testing you, okay? It's called stress testing. So wobbles develop into something more fundamental and it's got you confused, okay? Because you're still in the relationship, you didn't leave. So it all seems nonsensical to you. Like, what is the problem, okay? You sense, this is going off the scale. Why are we here? We shouldn't be here. How did we get here? You're not even sure that it was triggered by the argument or disagreement, but out of nowhere, it escalated into something beyond your expectation or comprehension, okay? So you're sitting in a pile of bullshit now, and you've now decided to eat bullshit out of a cereal bowl. Scoops of it. You're still there. You're not leaving. You can't believe that you're eating shit out of a cereal bowl, but you're not leaving. You're still there. So you're putting that person's needs before yours because you keep staying to try to figure out why they're being crazy. Why are they behaving this way? You keep trying to make sense of it and get things back to how they were, in the love bombing stage at the very beginning of the relationship. And you're telling them you're hurting me. This is hurting me. I don't like this, but they're not changing. So those are the steps, and afterwards, after a while, after you've had that for so long, hopefully, you realize that you have to leave. And there's not going to be closure whenever you leave. You're just going to have to decide whenever you're going to leave because they're never going to really tell you, hey, it's okay to go, or I understand that they're not going to say those things. So it's going to be kind of a weird breakup because you're kind of just, they hoover because they didn't break up with you. They didn't agree to the breakup. So they can always come back around. That's pretty much how they work. If they used up their supply somewhere else, they can always come back to you. If you allow them to. So there's no clear-cut breakup. You just have to realize that you deserve better and that you want to be loved and that you don't like the drama and chaos. And you don't want to do drama and chaos in your life anymore. And you didn't sign up for that and you got bamboozled, hoodwinked, sold wolf cookies and ate them. So yeah, hey guys. Hey, anyone have any questions? Because that was pretty much our content for today. So I wanted to kind of give you some real, distinct things to look out for instead of just talking about a few things like here and there. So those are kind of some distinct things to look out for. Next week, we'll talk about kind of the confusion and pain that's caused by the narc, male victims of narcissistic personality disorder, because we usually think a narcissist is a man, but there are narcissistic women. So the male victims go through a lot, okay? Because society is not typically expecting a male to be a victim of such treatment, okay? And then we talk about divorcing a narcopath. A narcopath is like a sociopath and a narcissist all mixed together. They have some of the same traits, okay? So another name is narcopath for them. Okay, so that's what we talk about, kind of like if you marry them, okay? And then we talk about like the ex's new partner and how they're treated and all the things that, happen next. It's about what happens next, okay, after you leave them. Because after you leave them, it's not over, especially if you have children with them. If you have children with them, it's definitely not over. You got to figure out how you're going to parent and co-parent with this person. I'll use myself as an example. I initially tried to do the co-parenting, but that became, not healthy because it left lines of communication open. And again, what the person may badger you, berate you via text because the lines of communication are open for the kids, right? But it's no talking about the kids. It's just like attacking you verbally attacking you. So, we have to shut that down. And, it's just parallel parenting. That's what we do. And that's what is recommended for someone that came out of a narcissistic relationship with children. It's parallel parenting. Parallel parenting is where you create a healthy home environment in your home, and the other parent hopefully creates a healthy, atmosphere in their home. So the kids are just in two different homes, and hopefully they're healthy, and the parents are not, joining together and kind of like doing things together or planning events together. Like you do events with dad, you do events with mom. You get taken care of by dad, you get taken care of by mom. Mom and dad can't talk. Mom and dad don't talk. So, narcissistic relationship it's one that I want to, spend time on because I want people to know the signs for this. And it's not only love relationships. Like you could have a narcissistic friend, you could have a narcissistic coworker, you could have a narcissistic family member, and you're like starting to realize, oh my gosh, my mom is a narcissist, or my dad's a narc, or my brother or sister's a narc. Oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. Of course, there's more. And I always say, like, go online and go like research some of this stuff on your own and, learn what you want to learn, because there's just so many different aspects to this thing. If there's like 8 different types within a narcissist, think about all the different features or things that you might have questions about. Like, okay, so what if this person does this? I thought you said that they do this, but this particular one did this. Okay, well, yeah. Each situation is different, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to being the same kind of thing. They're still going to do the same thing in the long run. That's pretty much how it goes. Let's see. Any questions? Do we have any questions? I don't have my other screen up, or else I would look on my personal page, but I can't right now. Let's see. IG, what's up, y'all? Any questions? Okay. I take it y'all enjoyed class today. Class was in session. Class has ended. Personal experiences to share before we go. Let's see. While in that situation, in that relationship, it was confusing. It is confusing. And that's the next thing that we're going to talk about. And you just feel hurt. You feel like, why? Why are you doing this? Or do you understand how much this is hurting me? Because I'm a loyal person and I'm expecting you to be loyal to me as well. So it's just a lot of hurt. And if you're not a strong person, it can really break you down and put you in a really horrible place. And I'm a very strong person, but it still spiraled me into depression, several different depressive episodes. And the last one being last year. I was already separated from the person, but I hit a pretty bad depressive episode and like was overeating and like gained like 23 pounds like in 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah, so you got to be careful if you know that you have like a mental health diagnosis, not disorder, a mental health diagnosis, like, you know, PTSD, depression, anxiety, bipolar, and you end up in a relationship with a narcissist, because it can really take you off. It can really take you off track. Your whole life will be off track because they're just literally triggering all of the bad features of your diagnosis. And that's horrible. Obviously going to be off track, right? What are the purpose of exes in your new relationship? When you're a narcissist, the purpose of the ex is to make them feel like they're important, and like the new person should be happy that they have them, because they're going to tell the new person that, oh, she still wants me, oh, she's jealous, or oh, this is what she did, this and that. And then the new person feels like superhero, you know, or he did this, he did that. So the new person feels like superhero because they're coming in to like help save you from the monster, right? So that's the purpose of the ex in the new relationship when you're in a narc relationship. Does that make any sense, Gerard? So yeah, so that's what that is. So guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I know it's Grammys night. Hopefully I get to see like a replay of the Grammys, but I'm always gonna come on here. I'm never gonna like not. This is a commitment that I made to do Self-Love Sundays, and I'm gonna do Self-Love Sundays every week. So thank you guys for tuning in to me. You could be watching something more interesting like the Grammys, and I feel so like thankful that you hung out with me. You hung out with me. Okay. I'm glad that, so that explanation did make sense to you. Okay, awesome. Thanks for asking. All right, guys, so that's it. What do I want you guys to tune into this week? I really want everyone that is on Facebook to like try to find Thought Positive Media on Instagram. We're kind of like doing our thing on IG. So we really want you to kind of move over to IG land. And hey, how are you doing? You joined us late. You're always with us. Thank you. Yeah, we want you to join us over there in Instagram land. All right, we got things going on over there. Things are going great, and we want you to be part of that. There's just a lot that goes on over there. Okay. We also want you to share topics that you would like for us to discuss. We want to see those in our inbox. That way we can, you know, meet our tribe members with what they want to know about, what they want to talk about. We are doing Narcissistic Abuse Part 3 next week. And then we'll probably be able to move on to something else, okay? We can talk about some other personality disorders, or we can talk about something completely different. I'll just see what hits the inbox and what I'm seeing repeatedly hit the inbox, and then we'll go with that, okay? Guys, I really love you guys. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for being interactive. We want to see you commenting and liking and sharing different posts and help our tribe grow. We really want the Thought Positive tribe to grow because we want people to know about the 8-part docuseries, Music and Mental Health. It's on IGTV and it is on Facebook. We also want you to know about the Tina Ricks Music Project. There are 21 plus songs right now on my project. All various different kinds of music, because I'm eclectic and I like all different kind of things. So it shows all different kind of sides of me. And we have wonderful producers on there, and I'm just so excited about that project. So we want you to tune into that, because we'll be sharing more new songs this week. All right. And we'll also be doing choreography day. Choreography. I hope I said that word right. I always chop up that word. And what else do we have going on? On the 18th, I'm doing a weigh-in. Not a weigh-in, but I'm doing a body fat check-in, because on February 18th, I took a photo and show what I was looking like. And I asked people to do the same, because in 4 weeks we were going to come back. So on 3/18, we're going to take another photo, and then we're going to compare and see, are we burning fat? Because the goal that I have is to burn fat and not to like necessarily lose weight. So that's my goal. Fat burning instead of weight loss. I'm not really looking at the number on the scale that much, you know? So that's what's going on with myself. And that's what's going on with Thought Positive Media. So, you know, we want you to tune in to those projects. We want you to be anticipating episode 7 of the Music and Mental Health docuseries. And yeah, just hang out with us, comment, share, do all that wonderful stuff. And let's see this tribe grow. All right. Let's see this tribe grow. Okay. Love you guys. Peace, love, and light. And I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.